Hello people. We are back on the Cricket. It is Sunday. Tomorrow's Memorial Day. So I have tomorrow off as well. I have gotten a bunch of replies to the last video and private messages. People expressing disgust over me parting this car out. That it really isn't that bad. And I said it wasn't viable. And it could be fixed. It could be fixed. Given that the floorboards look okay, again, I haven't pulled the carpet up, and the frame rails look okay. Most of the rust is just in panels that could be cut out and fixed. The problem, number one, is I don't have the money. So you guys want to start a GoFundMe on this and start sending me parts or donating parts to it, I'll keep it and I'll put it back on the road. However, the other problem is I have 4 Crickets and I can't save every one of them, but I can save 3 of them if one of them dies to save the others. So let me show you. So first off, number one, we've got the OG 71 Cricket. This is the car that I've owned basically since I was 5 years old. It's got well over 500,000 miles on it, and it shows. So the car has a bunch of fatigue cracks that I've welded and that probably need to be re-welded, or better yet, ground out and welded right. It's been painted a bunch of times. It was originally electric blue metallic. This is the factory paint right here. And it was repainted electric blue. This is some repair primer. This is a really, really old repair, so some Bondo. It's got Bondo. It's got Bondo. It's got Bondo. Not a lot of Bondo, but it's got some Bondo. Mostly in the quarters. And then you can go back to that one video here. Alrighty. Well, that's about as good as I got it. Not perfect. I got to do a little more pulling over here. When I welded up those holes, it warped it a little bit, and so it pulled back to where it was. I need to pull it just a little bit more. And then this bottom edge here, I got to pull down here. I got to pull the bumper off. This is pretty well done. I just need to put a little skim of filler on it. This little spot right up in here. I don't like having filler up here, but really isn't any way to avoid it. All right. Looks like we're growing a beard. Got all these nails, and some of them represent one dent, 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 one dent. But others represent kind of a bigger dent. So you got these 3 here, 4. I noticed if you look at it really close, it's been hit with a hammer. So, you know, these 2 here. Frankly, these and this one are just to hold it so that this doesn't get pushed in. But like this, these 2 here, I think are going to be hard. Those are the first ones I'm going to work on now. So here we go. Where I did all that repair work back here, that's probably the thickest spot of Bondo. That panel really needs to be replaced. It's got rust. Not super bad rust, but it's got rust. It's got rust. It's got rust. It's got rust. So we still need to replace the passenger side floorboard on this car. I've already rebuilt the driver's side. Need to replace the wheel openings, need to replace the lower quarters, need to replace this outer rocker skin, and I think the other one too. The lower fenders need to be patched. And I don't remember if there was any rust in the front here. I don't think there is, but there's a lot of holes drilled in it. And there's those 2 light brackets that I made. Anyway, so those need to be fixed. And there's this stupid ass sunroof that I put in it at some point years and years and years ago. Cracked windshield. Yeah. There's a Honda. So that's this car. That's number one car. That's one. And then there's this. This is my favorite. Why? Because it's a wagon. There might have been 150 of these imported. We don't know for sure. But this car needs a metric shit ton of parts. So I've already got the driver door cherried out. This is basically the junk door off of, I think this is actually the original door off of the wagon. Yeah, it's got that big crease right there. Okay. The problem with this door is it's rusted out on the bottom. So you could use it, but to actually restore it, you wouldn't want to. So these doors were modified. I had to cut the sedan window frame out and put the wagon window frame in it because it's square on the top instead of arcing down. So we need to get back to work on this. Remember, I had to borrow the wheels and tires off of it to bring home the Cedar green car. Cedar green, not grasshopper green. Grasshopper green was the Canadian Dodge Colt Cricket. Anyway, so yeah, this car, I need to do all that body work. These front fenders aren't terrible. I think the passenger side needs a little patch on the bottom. And both of them, I made the mistake of putting a pipe across it to support a 12A rotary that I was going to put in it back when it was a sedan. And so these peaks here in the fenders have been kind of pushed down. So that would have to be fixed. The hood has some heavy pitting back here from leaves sitting on it. So those back doors need to be finished. The driver's door is finished. It just needs to be painted. And I gotta clean up this mess. Passenger door needs to be worked on. Got a little bit of filler here. And you got a little ding here. And it's like a dent there. So yeah, that needs to be worked on. This door I haven't even started with yet. This is off a different Aztec green or Phantom Mist car. That was Aztec gold. Same thing though, I modified the window frame. So, and then the quarters all need to be worked on. Needs to be worked on. Needs some very minor patching to the floors. They're not really that bad. Just a little hole and a couple of pinholes. Engine tranny. The engine actually ran good. The transmission shifted kind of funky, especially when I hooked up the kickdown. And it's puking oil out of the front seal. So it might still be okay. It might be because I put Type F in it instead of Dexron. Remember, there's no T in Dexron. And then up front here, it wasn't rusty at all, but it was crashed. So I had to cut the chunk out of what's left of the wagon here that was all completely rusted out, as you can see. And I cut the center out of that because it was caved in there. And I just need to finish the filler work on that. Finish the headlight brackets up, and I need to cover them from behind. So anyway, yeah. My favorite one, the wagon, the special one. And then you have this guy. This guy. This guy's got crash damage. So it needs this entire rear panel replaced. Trunk lid has a little bit of damage in it, but I think it could be fixed. You got a little bit of quarter damage here, but I think that could be fixed pretty easily. I think might have some rust starting to poke in there. You got rust already there. And the wheel housings. The rockers are gone. You'll have to take my word for it. That bumper is shot. You got some rust. Lower quarter's gone. Rocker's gone. The doors are good though. The one thing you got on both sides, as you can see how it's rusted out there. Inner rocker's gone. Floorboards are completely gone. As a matter of fact, the driver's seat has fallen through the floor. And the frame rails got holes in it. So the chassis of this car is completely gone, but the body really isn't bad. I mean, frankly, I think the green car, number one Cricket's got more rust on it, the body, than this one does. This one, however, so this fender is full of Bondo. I wouldn't use it on a nice car. And I think the front panel might have been, so my scrap pile here. Yeah, see, it's rotten over there. That I can probably patch pretty easily, although it's damaged too. Yeah. This car, though, because the chassis is bad, because the body's decent, is going to get swapped onto the Celica chassis. So that's 1, 2, 3 Crickets that I want to keep and rebuild, but you got to have parts to rebuild them. So then we get back to this one. So this one, this fender needs to be patched. There's Bondo there. There's Bondo there. There's a pretty good sized rust hole there. And rust there. You got the outer valance panel. Take these glasses off because they're falling off. Look at it up top here. Crusty, rusty. Look at it down low. Very, very rotten. Okay. Got a rust hole starting there. And then now you get the door. Completely rusted out. All along the bottom. It's like, oh, you can put a door skin on it. Sure you can. Oh yeah, there's a big, pretty good sized dent here. Sure you can. But the inside is bad too. Then you got the rocker up here on top. You can see it's rusted out. Kind of like the copper car, the tangerine car. You can see the outer rocker is rusted out. And it's full of Bondo, so there's probably more rust under the Bondo. It's got this really crappy paint job on it, so it would all have to get sanded off. This door doesn't look bad, but it's rusty. Get rot. These control arms, I wouldn't trust them at all. They look really pitted and really thin. Rocker, bottom of the doors. This door, I don't know, it might be salvageable. Maybe. It looks like there's a bunch of filler in it. Yeah, I think there's a bunch of filler in this door. It might just be that the paint is that thick. I don't know. Okay, so then you have this wheel extension. Actually looks good. Until you get to this part where it's rusted out. Gas tank's gone. Trunk lid, I think, can be used. It's got some pretty good pitting here, but no holes that I've seen. Now this center panel is pretty good. You got a little bit of damage there. This isn't as good as I thought. As I'm touching some of these blisters, they are opening up into pretty good sized holes. As you can see. So I don't know if that panel is usable. I know it's not correct for the wagon, but I also know that most people wouldn't know the difference. Now the trunk floor doesn't look that bad at first. Actually looks pretty good, right? It's amazing that these tires still hold there. Until you get to here. And there is no trunk floor. Excuse me. Okay. Driver's side, more of the same. Rusted out. That looks decent. Pretty good, actually. And then the rocker's gone. This back door is locked. So the bottom of the door doesn't look horrible. Back doors could probably be used if you had to. But this, so here's the really bad spot. This is all rotten, pitted, rusted through, gone. So you need outer rocker, you need inner rocker, you need a jacking box, which is a pretty common problem for these. You need all that. Floor carpets are wet. Let's see what surprises they offer. Not a damn thing so far. Okay. Now I'm feeling crusties. Got a little hole right there. Some rust. Not bad though. Not terrible. Let's see how crusty that is right there. So this door is junk. You can see all along the pinch welds gone. And there. And there. Gone. Gone, gone, gone. Plus, and it's rusted out around the mirror. Up here, all along there is gone. This bottom corner is gone. Here is gone. There is gone. There is gone. Underneath that is going to be gone. So you need to replace the upper cowl, probably the lower cowl, because it doesn't really look any better inside there at all. You can see down inside there. Yeah. And this fender is junk, obviously. Inside here, that corner needs to be replaced. Up there. Come back and look at this again. Just how bad that is. That made me a little nervous putting that much strain on that corner. So, let's look at this corner from under the hood. Give me a second, I'll get the hood propped up here. So the hood is usable, but it's not great. It's rotten out there, rotten there. It's rotten over here. Like there, yeah. So then you got all this. And then you got pretty good rust there where the two panels come together and that weld there. There's some more there at the cowl. And then you got down here. So I think they call that a slam panel. That needs to be replaced. Bottom of the core support needs to be replaced. So that it just isn't there anymore. Battery tray floor. And then over there, you got kind of the same thing going on with the rust. So, yeah, it could be replaced because you can buy the rockers. You could buy the outer valance. You could buy the slam panel. You could buy the inner rockers. You can buy the door skins. I don't think you can buy the inner part of the door. You'd have to fab that. That's beyond me. I think you can even buy that section. I know you can buy around the shock towers here, which don't appear to be bad. Yeah, because it actually rusted from the outside in. You can buy all this stuff, but unless somebody wants to donate the parts or give me a GoFundMe, it just isn't worth it, honestly. Plus, all the brake system needs to be completely rebuilt. The brake lines are all rusted out. They're actually solid on that car. Solid on the wagon. Most of the wagon, anyway. You know, so that car desperately needs parts. That car desperately needs parts. This car desperately needs parts. A lot of the parts off of this car can go to all three of these. So that's why I would rather part this one out than try to save it. However, since I don't really have to do any of this right away, and since this is solid enough, I think, to drive, I do want to make it run and drive, and then, you know, drive it around a little bit before I part it out. So that's why it's getting parted and not saved. I hope that these videos shed a little more light to how bad it really is, versus, you know, why I wouldn't try to save it.
Okay, we're going to give this a try again. Some hot batteries, it's been sitting a little bit. Alright, let's see what happens. Ooh. I have to do something with the starter now. Well, you guys heard it. I'm gonna probably have to do something to the starter now. But it seems like the compression's come up in that one cylinder now. Okay. That close.
Okay, so I'm at the point now where if I actually had a carburetor, like a working carburetor-ish on there, it would fire and run. Trying to make it run off these little bursts of stuff is just not doing it very good. Plus the starter's about half dead, so I think I'm going to go ahead and pull the carburetor off and go find one of my other ones and see what I can make happen. Okay, got the carburetor off. Took off the vacuum bowl. And this carburetor is a manual choke carburetor. And it is off of that car originally. And it failed because of this. The diaphragm had been glued back together and it just junk. So this is the diaphragm out of this car, and it actually looks good. The only bad spots I see is out here where it clamped on. So we're gonna throw it all back together and see if I can have a working carburetor.
Okay, here goes. Got the carburetor in. I just filled the bowl up with carb cleaner. And let's see. I'm gonna pull the choke up. All these emissions hoses. I don't want vacuum leaks at this point now that we got everything sealed up. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fill the bowl back up. Don't have a fuel source rigged, just this. And there's an O-ring on the bottom of the carb that is leaking, like I said. I'll have to go down and get one tonight. Okay, here goes. Hold choke, which is throttle 2. So close. So close.
So I was just looking at an old video, something I forgot all about. I believe there is a fuel pump still on this piece. All right, need to get that off. All right, got it out. I went ahead and put some power to it, and it makes noise. So I need to go find some fuel lines, and we're going to rig up a fuel system here, which hopefully will make this thing run. You saw it. You heard it. We got a runner. So when it fired, it seemed like there was a lot of smoke over here. I was trying to figure out what was going on, but it was actually dust. Old rotten gas, something blowing out of the fuel pump. So the fuel pump might actually work, but I'm not going to trust it. Still seems like there's a weak hole. Or it could just be that I've got the plug wire or the firing order in wrong. Got a fly on my shoulder. I'm going to go ahead and switch those around here real quick and see what happens.